Hello and welcome back to Gains and Growing Pains with Liv. We are back for the second episode. I'm so excited. I was so excited to put the first episode out, and I already see a few people have watched it and liked it, and I'm really looking forward to bringing you guys more content. Today I wanted to touch upon a very important concept that I've really been mulling over in my head. It's definitely a big way of looking at my journey that I've done so far and how I have gotten to 73 pounds down in 1 year last year. And it really is a concept that definitely helped me. So buckle up and sit down, and we're about to take a dive into looking at life like a video game. Again, I'm so happy that you guys chose to come back, or if you're new here, welcome. This is Gains and Growing Pains, where I spread motivational and productivity content about my journey and hopefully motivate you to go on your own and go exploring in the world of whatever your interests are. We really shoot here to make this a motivational channel that you can take with you wherever you want, and I can be your gym buddy or whatnot. If you're trying to reach your goals and live a very productive life, this podcast is for you, and I can be your buddy all along the way. So jumping into the concept of looking at your life like a video game. This one is an analogy that I have really put into practice in my life, and I'm here to spread it with you guys just in case it has a few tips or hacks or something that might help you on your journey as well. So if there's something that we're sure of in life, and I realized this very early on in my journey when I was kind of like awakening to the fact that I was living a very boring video game, it's that you're only going to live with one person your whole life. And that person is you. Me, myself, and I. I'm stuck with it for the rest of my life. I'm very much okay with being stuck with myself for the rest of my life. But what I'm not okay with is if I'm only allowing myself and this person to have certain things. Particularly certain things that I am not really happy with when I do have them. As I said in the video before, I was not happy with where I was at my weight-wise, or more so on the side of I wasn't happy with the fact that my body couldn't do what I wanted it to do. Now, the good thing about a video game is that you can customize your avatar. That's right, you can always change yourself to look however you want. And it's the same thing in life, guys. We can customize our avatar and change ourselves to look however we want. However, it's not going to be as easy as changing it in a video game. It's not just a few clicks away. We have to actually take some time and put intention into what we want to do with our lives or how we want to look. That being said, the great part is if you're stuck in an avatar you don't like, all you gotta do is change it. And that's a really great part about this little life, is that you can change yourself and be more authentic to your person. And you should really be looking at it as if you're sitting and playing a video game, and you're the one making the choices for yourself. So you're not having, you may have your friend over your shoulder telling you what to do sometimes, but for the most part, you're going to be customizing your video game character that's the most authentic to you, especially online, because no one is going to see who's behind the screen. So you are free with all creativity to do what you want. And guess what, guys? That should be the same in real life. We should be able to customize ourselves however we want to look in real life too. And whatever makes us more confident, we should be able to go with it. Or more so, you should be allowing yourself to do that without letting opinions of others get in the way of that. So yes, just like a video game, we will be customizing our avatar along the way, and that's what I made terms with to do in the game of my life. Because yes, it's worth stressing one more time, you are the only person who you're going to live with your whole life. And that should be something that you should really be basing your choices off of. I realized that in my journey, and when I fully thought about it and sat down and thought about that whole line right there, I was like, there's a few things that I want to change. So obviously, now that we've decided to start the game, we're not just going to stay in a little world. We're not just going to build a hut in Minecraft and stay in there forever, or not go and make any dates on episode, if you know what I mean. We are going to expand our world and be looking to be more adventurous. Because really there's two options. You can sit and have a pity party and be stuck in the, world you're in right now where you don't like, it's not adventurous, it's very small, and, your couch is the best thing you can do on a Friday night. And if you like to binge on the couch on a Friday night, I'm not shaming that. I do it all the time. I love being myself and spending time with myself on the couch on a Friday night, but oftentimes we do want to go out and actually be doing something to expand our world. At least that's what helps motivate me to get to my achievements and goals. Number 2 is going to be expanding your world, going and doing things, learning more about things, and kind of being adventurous. The same with customizing your avatar. We're going to be adventurous. We're going to roam outside of our little hut and go and do things. Very scary, I know. But you kind of got to do that to make it more adventurous. Now, you've obviously been playing this game since you were born, so you've already made some options along the way that you don't really like that much. Well, the good part about this game is that, actually, it's a really bad part.
Psych!
You can't go back and change anything that you've already done. The good and bad choices that you've already made through this video game already are there. So that part, yeah, it kind of sucks.
Oh, damn.
Unless you've invented time travel, and in that case, what are you doing here? There's way better timelines to be in. No, I'm just kidding. However, that is the good or bad truth, is that you can't go back, maybe like some classic video games, and change it. Now, all this video game talk, I could also say that you could compare this to maybe a TV show or something has the same analogy or concept that I'm talking about right here. Guys, I can actually think of quite a few. I may have just finished a series that I might use a little bit of an example of later on in the video. It may or may not have something like Attack on something in the name, and I will be using that later on in the video, like I said, to do this. So you can really look at maybe, most likely, some of your series or TV shows or something like that have the same concept that I'm bringing up along the way, and you'll kind of see that as I go through. But for right now, you are the main character in the show, and we want to keep it that way. So talking more about those good or bad choices, here's a thing about this little game. You can't really go back and change them, but there is a restart button. The tricky part is that you just have to make peace with the choices you've already made. So yeah, the restart button really is just in your mind. You kind of just sit down and make peace with the choices you've made already. That's something that I realized when I really wanted to change my life, and I had to kind of sit down with myself and be like, maybe it's not everybody else's fault that you're here right now in the state that you're in and your world is so small. Maybe it's your fault. And that's okay, Maybe I just need to stop playing the victim a little bit and make peace with the choices I've made and the person that I've become so far. But, you can change it. So yeah, it's definitely a way to restart your way of thinking in your life and how it's going. It's going to be more difficult, but nothing worth doing is going to be easy. I'm pretty sure I didn't say that right, but that's the only thing I can think of right now, so that's what we're going to go with. Nothing worth doing is ever easy. Actually, that actually may be close to what it is. Now, moving forward, you're going to be making the change to live life more on your own terms. And you're going to have to realize that that's kind of what you've got to hold yourself accountable for the choices that you're making going further. So hopefully you have made the choice to continue on with the game and keep going with your goals and your motivations and actually building up your dreams again. I know at some point I lost mine, so I kind of needed to go back and retrieve those in order to give me some some goals in the future. But hopefully most people are looking to change their lives for the better, or just live a more adventurous, exciting life. Now, the hard part is that most likely, like me, I was looking for making my life better in all of the areas that it wasn't going to get better. So if you think that, a relationship, a friend, family members, anybody other than yourself is going to be able to make your life better, not really. From my experience, at least, no. I wasn't going to get a lucky ticket. It wasn't just going to come out of nowhere that my life was going to get better. I had to take it into my own hands to change it, just like you have to do in a video game. And maybe, hey, let's think about this. Go back to the restart button a little bit. Even if you really, really, really can't come to terms with the choices you made, and you're kind of like looking at it as maybe you've been dealt an unfortunate hand or something like that, I'm not excluding that from the picture. I know life is life. It's hard, and it's definitely, not always up to us how it goes. But maybe if you really don't like yourself that much, you can try and call a truce. So just kind of tell yourself, we're going to call a truce while I figure my stuff out, and whenever a thought or something, a bad choice or something like that pops up in your head, try and think of it as a thought that just kind of goes in and out. So I'm trying to explain this a little bit here, but maybe call a truce in a way of every time you do come up with something that's been holding you back, or a choice you've made, or habits, or whatever, we kind of like observe them instead of giving them a lot of thought. So the difference is sitting there and thinking about them, and like I was saying earlier, having like this pity party, or letting them go through your mind, kind of not giving a shit about them right now, and moving forward, at least for right now. Just give yourself a little bit of time to call a truce and actually put it into practice and do it. And this helped me a lot when I actually was like, you know what? We're going to call a truce. If something like that comes up, we're going to put it off to the side right now. I'm not going to think about it. And I'm just going to move forward and try and do what I'm going to do and give it a free trial. And that kind of rolls right into my next point. When you're playing a video game, you're going through the movements in the segments, and you're trying to reach those next achievements and goals. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're in the moment and you're having a really rough time getting past a certain part or something like that, if that's happening, or you just accomplished something and you're having like this party in your head, like, oh my god, I finally got it. It took forever. Yes. You're really celebrating it in the moment, or being negative about it in the moment. So what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that when you're having trouble in a video game, you are going to pay attention to that part in the present moment. You're not going to be thinking about the past or the future. You may be thinking about how this is going to affect your goals in the future. But in the moment, when you're going through that trouble or trying to complete that level or fight or whatnot, if you really think about it, you're sitting there and you're putting the presence toward that moment to try and get through it. And yes, you may be screaming, fighting, clicking, throwing your mouse across the room because you really hate that you've spent hours on this, right? And, you've really invested a lot of time into this one fight. And it's terrible. You'll hate it in the moment. But when you're done with it, you don't really give it much more attention than you have already given it. So like in life, if something bad happens to us, a lot of the times we will sit there and kind of ruminate on it, and it's bad and it's happening in the moment, and then what do? What I've experienced is I will sometimes carry that with me. So this bad thing has happened to me, and I was feeling really shitty about it in the moment. But not only did I make it that moment that it turned shitty, I carried it with me through the rest of my week. So I was thinking about that shit all week. Got barely anything done because of it, and I was just pouting. I was having a moment. And yes, it's good to have a moment, it's good to take time to be in the present and accept the feelings that you're feeling right then. But a lot of the times, with little things, you're not really going to want to sit there and ruminate on it. Just like a video game, we should be moving on after we're done. Or else, how are we supposed to get to our goals and achievements in the future? We really should be practicing feeling them in the moment and leaving them there. Same with the good and the bad. So with the good, you complete a part in a video game, you get somewhere, you celebrate it in the moment, you feel really accomplished about it and everything. But, automatically you're kind of like, okay, time to do what's next. What's next in my goals? Where am I going next? Where is the game going to tell me to go? So yeah, there's a valuable lesson about being in the presence and really making yourself soak in what's going on in the present. But then moving forward, you kind of got to leave that behind, just like you do in a video game, and just get over it. Obviously, if it's something very grave and, it's traumatic, I'm not just being like, get over it. Just move on to what's next. No. I'm just saying the little things and the old habits, maybe the binging, so whatever you're doing that you're feeling really negative about, or the gaining of weight, or gaining of more weight or whatnot. Ruminate it in the moment. Really let yourself feel things. This is something I learned I had to do. Let yourself feel through it. Feel those emotions, good or bad, and then leave it behind. We're not going to take it with us in the future. We don't need it. It's already done. We spent enough time on it already. Nobody's going to finish like a final boss fight and be like, oh man, yeah, I got to go back and do that. I got to experience that 3-hour fight one more time. Now, maybe you've mastered it a little bit and, you could go back and do it pretty easily. But are you going to want to spend your time on that in the past when you could be moving forward to new, more exciting things in the future? No, I don't think so. At least, that's not what I want to do. Imagine pouring a bunch of time and effort into, like, a game and you're really invested in it, and then you get up to, like, one of the final boss fights or something like that, and, you finish it, and you're like, it took you a long time to finish it. It was really rough and hard, and a lot of bad things happened to you in it. But when you finished it, imagine yourself just sitting down, like, going into, like, a little cabin, sitting down, being like, I'm done. I'm not going anymore. I know I put, like, hours into this video game. I know I've invested hours into watching this show. But I really think the main character should just pack their shit up and go home. That was too much of a fight. I think that, they should just go home. Why are they still moving forward, Why aren't they going and sitting and, like, living in that little cabin in the woods for a week and just ruminating on it? It's because it would get them nowhere. You don't want to see that in your favorite TV show. You also don't want to do that in a game. Yeah, you may take a little break because it was really rough and you need some time to get over it. But when you get back to the game, you're going to want to go forward. You're going to want to progress. So, yeah, you could sit in the cabin, have a pity party, and poopy about yourself. But that's not exactly the most progressive way to do things. And it's definitely not something that you would do to yourself or want for the main character in a show or a video game. All that to say, if you're really invested in it and you really want it, you're gonna stick with it. Feelings are great. They keep you in the present, like I said, and they really make you aware that in the moment, it actually made me more aware when I was able to really let myself feel things more in the moment in order to let it go in the future. It made myself actually a lot more aware of what being in the present moment feels like. So yeah, it's not all negative, even the good and the bad. When you're feeling it, you can use it actually as drive to move you forward in the meantime, while also letting it teach you a little bit of a lesson about being in the present and how it helps to actually give the attention to the present so that you can move forward to your goals and everything in the future. Which brings me to my next point. When you're going through a game, oftentimes you have an inventory, or, in a TV show, the main character has their backpack or something like that they're using to carry the stuff that they need through the TV show, the series, and the video game. So in a video game, you have your inventory, and you carry a lot of your things in your inventory. But you don't always have the vast amount of space to carry everything that you've accumulated on your journey in the video game in your inventory. A lot of the times you have to let things go, and sometimes it's very unceremoniously. Like, you're telling me I've been clutching to this thing the whole time, and I needed it for one little thing, and now Matilda the sword is being left on the side of the pathway unceremoniously because there's another sword here that's going to do better for me in the future, and I just have to trust that this one that I've mastered is not actually going to be helpful for me anymore, and oh my god, I gotta leave her behind. She's gotten me this far. I think you get what I'm saying here. Sometimes in life, just like in a video game, you have to move forward and let things go. Those things sometimes can be very hard to let go. And there's particular seasons and achievements you needed that thing for. But when it's done in a video game or a TV series, oftentimes it kind of just becomes unimportant. For example, you have this key that your dad gave you, and you're clutching onto it because you have to get to the cellar for a secret that you really need to uncover that's going to help you and reveal everything, right? And, maybe when you get to the cellar or whatnot, you get there and it kind of like gives you a step to move forward, but it doesn't exactly solve the whole thing, and now it's just a key. A key that you're probably not going to give a shit about after. If you get what I'm talking about, you get what I'm talking about. Attack on Titan. Anyways, that's a very good example of a certain storyline in a certain show that, it was only part of it. It was a very big part in the beginning, like this key was everything in the beginning, but, it kind of gets unceremoniously put away at some point in the show and just kind of disappears, right? Just like in a video game, if you have picked up something that was so important, a piece of paper, a code, or something like that, and within a few minutes of playing that video game, maybe it's more than a few minutes. Maybe you've carried this thing with you most of the way of the video game, but then, once you use that code or you input this precious password, it's just a piece of paper. It's not helpful to you anymore. It's not going to help with any more future goals or achievements. And if you get where I'm going, that kind of happens a lot in life. If you think about it, relationships, things, precious, valuable things we hold dear sometimes, often are left behind or having to be let go at some point in your life. You may not want to let them go. You may not want to let them go the way that you need to let them go. It may have been so valuable to you at some point where it just feels wrong the way that it ended, in the way that, it's now just not a part of your journey anymore. But just like a video game, you have to move on, and you can't let it take up too much emotional space in your inventory, because it's not going to help you anymore. It's something that you just need to let go of. And this is a very good analogy, actually, for what a lot of people say is maybe the concept of seasons. That person, that thing will be in your life for a certain season of your life, but after they've done what they're supposed to in your journey, you have to let them go. Now, this doesn't happen with everybody and everything. Some things, you're gonna need with you the whole way. But I'm just saying, just like in a game, be selective about what you're carrying, because it is baggage in your inventory that you are going to have to keep the whole journey. And also, make sure you're keeping track of your inventory to let things go that are taking up too much space in your inventory, aka too much space in your mind or your physical world. The more you practice it, the more the hesitation will not be there anymore, and you'll be able to go, what's next? Just like in a video game, when you accomplish something and this piece of paper, like I said, that was so valuable to you is now just a piece of paper, and you're very easily able to go, okay, what's next? And that is the exact personality trait that I adapted into my life that immensely helped me with my goals and my achievements and everything I've done so far. It is a great way to practice it. The more you do it, like I said, the easier it gets, but trust me, it is a great thing to do for yourself. Because it really is, in a video game and in life, the same. It's what's next, and what can I do to take the next step to my goals and my dreams in the future. So wow, that was a lot. I really did want to go deep into this concept though, because like I said, I feel like there's a lot of points in it that are very important and kind of made me think about my life and where I was headed and maybe where I was staying that wasn't great for me anymore. And it was able to actually shift my mindset into a better space where when I was able to look at it like that, I was able to put more practice into better habits for myself and let go of what I didn't need anymore, and keep that mindset focus of, instead of like what has happened and what's, like the negatives and the positives, more of what's next. It really helped me just focus on what's next and what's next for my future, and not ruminate on the things in the past. Have my moment in the moment and know that that is a precious thing, to be in the present with yourself, and it helps to move you forward in the future and achieve what you want to achieve without carrying all that baggage in your inventory. So yeah, I hope this really made sense and helped maybe with your journey along the way, and I really just wanted to share this concept with you guys because I thought it was a great analogy. So yes, that is my piece of wisdom or words of wisdom for you today. I don't know. I also think it's just a really fun way to look at things, and I was so excited to share it with you guys. So if you sat here and listened to the whole thing and you enjoyed it, and oh my god, that means the world to me if you did. I am so excited to build a community on here with you guys. And I look forward to sharing more analogies and things like this in the future. I really hope that this is something that you can listen to that gives you inspiration to go complete your goals and keep smashing them like usual. If you followed, subscribed, liked, and comment, and shared, that also means the world to me, and I'm so looking forward to the next episode. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.